Hey guys, it's TF Nut. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing another action figure review. This is going to be of the NECA, the Evil Dead Ultimate Ash. The very first movie version of Ash in the NECA Ultimates line. I very much love this series. It's one of my favorite horror series, and I'm really glad whenever NECA does these figures. I'm really hoping eventually we'll get some Army of Darkness figures. That'd be really sick, but this series license is really all over the place when it comes to the rights, so who knows. That would be still really cool to see. Anyway, let's jump right into the packaging, not waste any more time. This is very much, if you see the top half here, the classic Evil Dead 1 poster there. On the top right, it has this green horror logo right there, kind of looking like a sticker, but it's part of the packaging. Bottom half, the classic Evil Dead logo right there, as well as Ultimate Ash. On this side, you can see the figure on the box, the backdrop too. The top there is that Evil Dead logo we already saw. Throughout the whole box, you'll see here this Evil Dead 40th Anniversary logo too. That also looks really sick. And this time, the NECA logo looks different. I'm not sure if it's supposed to look like the Renaissance Pictures logo or whatnot, but it is very cool. On this side, pretty much the same thing. It's just a different image of the figure in a different pose with some different accessories. On the top here, we have the normal NECA logo, Evil Dead logo, and then that bottom right logo is there for that 40th anniversary. But on the bottom left, we have ages 17 up, as well as a choking hazard right there. Here's a wide shot of the back so you can see all the different poses that you can get the figure into, as well as Ash right there. And we zoom in a little bit closer, you can see a read up of basically the movie, as well as all the stuff that he comes with. Bottom here, credits of who is working on this product here. NECA Real Toys, barcode in case you need it. Now, we open up the flap here like a lot of the NECA Ultimate figures. It's attached via Velcro. On this side here, really cool image of the figure in the diorama right there. And then on the right, you can see the figure with all the accessories. Let's go ahead and get this figure out of the packaging. Here is the figure out of the packaging. Very awesome figure. I really like it a lot. Very minor nitpicks to where that doesn't even matter much compared to just how much I like this figure. I'll talk about those nitpicks in a second. Let's take a look at the accessories, then we'll take a close look at the figure. So this figure pretty much comes with everything you need based on what he used throughout the whole movie. NECA's really good about giving us all the accessories that we need for these figures. This is a really nice head sculpt right here. This is a slightly open mouth, slightly concerned face here. This looks crazy. I'm going to put an image of young Bruce Campbell on here. I think this might be their best likeness to date. It looks a lot like him. Not that they did a bad job of likenesses before, but man, they really knocked it out of the park here. Such a fantastic head sculpt. Let me zoom in a little bit closer. You can see it might not pick up too well on the camera, but there's a little bit of shading in the cheeks, forehead, as well as the ears to give a little bit of like different, just different skin tone. You know, like he's nervous or slightly blushing. Not really blushing, but you know, it's just different stuff going on in the skin tone. I think that's really nice. Slightly open mouth. It shows a couple teeth even sculpted in there and slightly painted too. That is really sick. Do have a little bit of a stubble. All the faces come with this really nice scar right there. The eyes are really nicely painted on there, as well as the eyebrows. And then we do have this hair sculpt. It's a little bit of brown and black going on there. Very, very dark brown. A little bit of glossiness going on there. I'm wondering if they, maybe he was wearing hair gel in the film. They kind of made it look a little bit more glossy for that. Some parts, the glossiness is a little bit more heavy than other parts. Doesn't look entirely bad though. The hair sculpt again is very, very good. So nice head sculpt here. Here's the other head sculpt, except this time even more of an open mouth. You can see that paint in the mouth and the teeth. He's looking to the left right there. Oh, that's looking really nice. The scar. Again, we have the darker cheeks and ears and forehead. And then the hair sculpt, I think, is the, I could be wrong, it could be the exact same. They usually do reuse the hair sculpt for different heads, which is fine. From my understanding, this is probably the exact same. A little bit, there might be some dirt and specks going on in here, so as long as there's no real big paint app issues. Like with this thing here. So this is the shotgun, of course not the boomstick here. As you can see, I don't know how accurate this is. It's like brown going onto the gunmetal here. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that. So there, I mean, I could be completely wrong, but there might be a paint app issue here. Other than that, the rest of this looks great. There's like some black variation in the brown here. Man, it looks great. Very realistic looking gun with the stock right there, the handle, the man, that just looks great. And the gunmetal that they have on here, that they usually use for a lot of guns, looks great. It has this glittery silver. It's not too overbearing. It is such a nice looking piece, man. The shotgun here is super sick. We also have a lantern. They did a really good job making this look like very realistic metal. Have a little bit of a flame piece going on in there, as you can see. So there's a little bit of yellowish and orange going on. Some silver around this cloudy glass part. Just, of course, this is plastic. As you see here, whatever brand this was supposed to be, they just put NECA on there, so that's cool. And they probably didn't have the rights to put the branding on there. This thing seems there seems like parts where it's a little flimsy. It actually might be a softer plastic than I thought. I thought it was pretty brittle. Like, this is brittle, but I think they're like, these sides are, I think, a softer plastic, actually. There are some pieces that will probably snap off if you mess with them, so be careful. But this is a very realistic looking piece, because all that paint variation and that dark silver going on in here, this thing looks really awesome. The tape recorder, I believe this is different from the tape recorder we got with like the Evil Dead 2 Ashes that we've had in the past. Lots of nice paint with some of the silver. I love this, you know, the reels and whatnot going on. There's the back with that speaker. It's a nice, just very nicely textured too. It's not just a flat black sculpt. There's actually, you know, detailing in there to make it look like there's some plastic on here. How it's supposed, like, you know, just a realistic looking tape recorder. There's a handle. Man, that is such a nice looking piece. Seriously, there's that other side right there. We have the double-sided axe, which has some nice metallic silver. They have a little bit of a black wash going on in the handle too. A little bit of sculpting and paint variation going on there. This is very sick. The iconic chainsaw, at least for this movie, it was a normal chainsaw, of course. The red looking really nice with some black in there too. The handle, or well, this would be the whatever you'd pull here. Hey, there's the handle. This also has a brand, a rebranding. It just says NECA, so that's cool. There's also a separate handle, and then the chainsaw blade. There's not that much on there, as you can see. It still looks really nice with some metallic silver, some darker metallic silver and lighter metallic silver. This is a beautiful piece. I dig that a lot. Last but not least, these hands here. Just two right hands. They're really nicely well detailed. You can see the veins popping in there. One meant for holding the shotgun, the other one meant for holding the lantern, I assume. So, a lot of really nice accessories. So the accessory portion took a little longer than I wanted, but now we're taking a look at the actual figure. This looks really good. This is the more stern, I guess you'd say stoic face that he comes packaged with. It looks very good. Again, let's bring in another image of young Bruce Campbell. I think it looks a lot like him, man. This is crazy. It has those details that we saw with the other faces, like the consistent scar, the stubble, a little bit of shading in the cheeks and ears and whatnot, and the hair sculpt is pretty much the exact same all around with all these heads. So now we actually get to the shirt. This is a brighter blue than what some of the other ones have, just because, you know, those were basically completely different, not maybe not completely, but very much different movies using different clothing and whatnot. I really like the color on this shirt too, the way they you know, they've painted it, some of the molding for it too, and there is a bit of paint variation. There's some lighter blue. The camera might be a little too bright, but there is a little bit of lighter blue streaks in like some of the wrinkles, kind of contrasting with the dark blue. You can see those buttons on there. Very realistic sculpting and detailing with this shirt. It looks very, very nice. We get down to the arms. I don't think they were reusing any sculpt from the previous figure. I don't think they are. But yeah, we have a lot more wrinkles too going on here, going all the way down to the forearm. You can see some of those buttons painted on there. I don't know if I could say that the the buttons are painted super well, but at least they're on the dot to where it doesn't look like it's splotched too much and like it's off-centered, like sometimes with Marvel Legends. Is the one the hands comes with a bigger open grip. The other hand here also has an open grip right there. Of course, the hands are interchangeable. This one's a little bit more loose and wants to stick out a little bit more. I'm pushing it in there a little bit. Yeah, not too bad. Sometimes with Ash figures, the way that they sculpted to look tucked in sticks up way too much. This time, though, it's just because I moved it. It's hidden a lot better than previous ones. Not that it was horrible, but it is a considerable difference here. I really like the paint with that buckle there, as well as how they actually made the belt look like leather by putting in some glossy details in there, as well as making it look different from the brighter. They're not super bright, but the pants are brighter than the belt here, so that way you can actually tell there's a belt. We do have some pockets sculpted there, looking really nice actually. That squeaking was not a pleasant sound. But we also have some front pockets, a little bit of, not a lot, but just a little bit of paint variation and some of the wrinkles on the crotch piece as well. It's more of a consistent brown when we get to the legs. So down here, a little bit smoother here, but there's some wrinkles up there. I assume that's accurate, you know. I mean, they don't always have to be wrinkled. I don't know why I brought that up. I just noticed that it was smooth here. I guess because it's such a good amount of wrinkles here, you would expect it here too. I do kind of wish they would make a bloody version. I know that, you know, variants sometimes, they could just feel like easy cash grabs with a little effort. But this figure here in particular does need a predominantly bloody version here because it's a very clean figure. Not that that's a bad thing, but a bloody version would be awesome. Absolutely sick. Here is the side. Down here they have a little bit of some seams going all the way down the pants. Looking on the back of the legs, just so you can see some more consistent detailing, like some line. They're very subtle, but they do have lines sculpted all the way down here, as well as some texturing in there to make it look like actual pants. So I like that. We get down to the legs, and we do have some large wrinkles towards the cuffs of the pants. Now, these socks, I guess they're socks, but they're brown. I don't know if that's accurate, but I'm not going to complain too much. As long as it's not like, it might be a little too much of the exact same color as the pants. Again, I don't remember what they look like in the movie, so that's just something I'm pointing out. It's not really a complaint. These boots are awesome. Not really boots, they're like loafers almost. You can see the ties. The laces. I don't know why I forgot that word for a second. Sometimes I have brain farts. But we do have the bottom of the feet that has some peg holes there. I did not mention that there is some pretty good paint variation too in the shoes. I don't know what's going on here. It looks like just an ever so slight splotch, but it does kind of blend in with the shoe. So that's not too bad, you know. Not to give them excuses when they do have paint splotches, because I know it can be a little bit rough on Marvel Legends when that happens, but it's really not that bad here. And for some reason, the light decided to fall over. But here is a quick 360. It's actually looking a little bit more spookier when I do it like this. Some of the articulation on this figure may not be as good as other figures, but it still has a pretty decent range of motion. First of all, we have this ball peg head. For some reason, there's some blue flakes getting on there. Head goes up that far. Could be a little bit better down. Side to side like this, but the rotation's really good. Arms go all the way around, or go all the way out, I should say. Well, almost all the way. It does also go all the way around too, so that's good. Single joint elbow that bends about 90. I wish it was a little bit better though. You have a swivel at the wrist as well as a hinge at the wrist for all sets of hands. Ball jointed waist, just letting you know. The way that this is tucked in, the plastic here could come out, so just be careful. It's really not that great when it comes to forward, back, and side to side, but a rotation is pretty good. You have soft crotch piece right here, like a soft plastic piece, but it doesn't really allow you to kick out that much with the legs. Kickback's actually could be a little bit better, but not too bad. Splits are actually pretty good. Upper thigh swivel is decent. Single jointed knee that gets about 90. Swivel at the knee. There is supposed to be a swivel going into the pants here, but it's just so tight I can't do it. Pretty sure it's supposed to be a swivel in there. But we do also have ankle rockers. For size comparisons, I have a decent number of figures. Right next to him on each side is a different Ash. The left one being from Ash vs. Evil Dead, the right one being from Evil Dead 2. Very far left, black suit Spider-Man from Marvel Legends. Very far right, we have the first version of Mandalorian from Star Wars The Black Series. As you can see, these 7-inch scale figures can be taller than 6-inch scale figures. But I think Evil Dead 2 Ash is going to be slightly taller, if not the same height as the one in the middle. Both are going to be a little bit taller than Ash versus the Evil Dead version. Overall, I'm very happy with this figure. The nitpicks that I had were particularly maybe some paint splotching on certain accessories, a couple very minor parts, particularly the shoe, that I think had paint splotching, as well as some tighter joints, mostly in the ankles. That's it. There's nothing else that I dislike about this figure. All the amount of accessories and the detailing on the accessories are really good. I could say the articulation might be a gripe, but the range of motion is decent enough to where you can get him into pretty much any pose you'd like. The detailing, sculpting, painting on the shirt, pants, shoes, and particularly the face sculpts are incredible. Again, I think this might be the best looking Bruce Campbell face sculpt we've gotten for NECA. It is very, very awesome. I'm very happy with this figure. Again, I'd like to eventually get a bloody version. I'd love to get some Deadites in this line, not just Ash. Hopefully, we'll get some more stuff in the future. Don't know yet. Until then, thank you guys very much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment down below what you think about the figure, what you think about the review. Leave a like, share amongst your friends. Follow me on Instagram for more content over there, and I'll see you guys later.